This is Four Corners, and the boys are trying to prove that they can be in 4 states at one time. We're headed to Colorado with the Axelsons, and both of us have station wagons and RVs. I can't make that out. More than one trying it at the same time. And I guess we're doing the same thing. We got to Mesa Verde, and fascinating place. The Indians created these homes in the shelter of the rock, and they're amazing to see. Some of them, the only way you can get in there is by using the ladders. I just came across a cassette tape that documents this whole trip for us, and it would be interesting to listen to it when you're seeing this DVD. It's also the same trip when Barry got left behind after we had stopped at a bare bones truck stop on the way to Yuma. And he had gone over the hill to relieve himself without telling anybody. And we thought that he was in the Axelsons truck. They had a canopy on the truck, so we couldn't see the back, but the other kids were there. Anyway, we had to backtrack, and very relieved when we found him. Somebody had stopped there to give their dog some water, and noticed him, and gave him a ride, and then he saw us at the bottom of a hill that was quite a distance away. Here's more of those caves close up. Some of the scenery as we traveled. And we went on to Durango and had a ride on the steam train. We had tickets and thought everything was in order, and we got there at the right time, but actually the tickets got mixed up and it wasn't going to be till the next day. So we just stayed over, and this is a narrow gauge steam train, and the tracks go through parts that are inaccessible by any other way. So we saw some beautiful scenery and headed up to Silverton. It's a long way down. We had a lovely day to do this little trip. But on the way back, we did have some rain. Didn't last long, though. At one point, while we were on the road, we were traveling behind the Axelsons and noticed that the motorcycle on the back of their trailer had fallen over and was dragging on the pavement. And we were able to finally get him stopped and that taken care of. And it happened one more time too. And then at that point, we just were very, very thankful that it was taken care of soon, because it wore down the handlebars right to the front fork of the motorcycle, and there were scratches on the gas tank. And that could have been really bad if a fire had started. And I didn't remember this, but I guess ours sort of jumped its track too, and but it shifted the wheels forward, so that was easily fixed. Beautiful country. Mesa Verde was surprisingly green too, in between all the rock formations. There's our train engine huffing along. And this is the little town of Silverton. And we had a short time up there before we had to be back on the train again for the return trip. I don't recall the altitude of Wolf Creek Pass, but it was certainly a welcome change to have it cool after we roasted in the desert part. That water was extremely cold, and Gordon was very brave to get in there and dunk himself. There he goes. He didn't stay long. Now we're approaching Garden of the Gods, and you may remember this is the day that Ken's camera quit working. We found a little camera shop, and while Ken was busy with the proprietor, Gordon was leaning on the glass showcase, and there was a flaw in it, and he must have just put pressure on the wrong spot, because the whole thing, glass shelves and all, and cameras and all, came tumbling down created quite a mess. And I think the funniest part of all of it was that the owner, when Ken asked when he might be able to get it repaired and pick it up, the owner quietly surveyed the situation and said, "I don't think I can get to it today." So the next place was the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. And here the cadets are assembling to march to their next meal in formation. I think this is a long distance shot of the beautiful chapel that they have on that campus. It's got lovely stained glass windows. We enjoyed looking at it. And this is Royal Gorge. And you can walk across that bridge. We've done it other times too, that we've been through this area. Pretty spectacular. The fish are jumping. I think this is Mount Princeton campsite. We found some lovely spots to spend the nights. Here are the kids throwing rocks into the stream. And this is another campsite. There's Axelsons' trailer. Sharon. And the boys on the other side. I think this is where they got into the stream and took soap and had a bath. This is Monarch Pass. Two different fishing sites yielded about 38 trout, and Audrey and I decided to have French fries with them, not realizing that the altitude and the lower burning propane than we were used to, we couldn't get the oil hot enough. It took forever to get the French fries done. And we're on the road again, headed to Ouray and Telluride. Lovely little towns. And skiing in the wintertime is the draw there. It was a former gold mining. This is Flagstaff, Arizona, at a campsite that had these trees that the kids could climb. And they got up pretty high. There's Barry waving to us from his perch.